Oh, g'day, hi and welcome. That looks good and tasty. I got some beaver sticks here. But why is this here? Why isn't it out near the beavers? As we prepare for the beaver blitzkrieg, let me show you the monstrosity I've made. It's like, you know it's serious when you got drill bits out. Okay. Last week I was, or not last week, or whenever the video was going to come out, I showed you a pole with a foothold trap on it. And you know, trying to figure out what that was all about. Well, here it is. This is what it is. This is basically a drowning set with a foothold, and the way it's going to work is, oh hey, the lighting's actually not bad right here. Pretty self-explanatory. I drill a hole, see the wire goes through, just comes right out here, and make my holder. Now you're going to lose your bait from time to time, so just, you know, make the wire just long enough so that you might be able to get it holding in there fairly solid, and make sure that it doesn't go around. Then I drill 2 holes to get the wire through, one to hold the spring, and the other one just to kind of feed through, to go over the top to hold it in place. Now don't wire it too tight, because setting them is a pain. I haven't perfected the method of setting them yet. I'll show you how I'm going to set them, because you need 2 hands to set them. There's 2 springs, 2 hands. Now I'm going to try this with a single setup, and I'm going to try it with a double setup. So if it gets set off, I have to be able to unset it fairly easily. So what I'm going to do, grab my pliers, see if I can work those. And obviously the awkwardness of the pole makes it a lot more fun. So I'll show you how I'm going to set it. This is why you're going to leave, maybe you hide the wires a little bit, but basically what I'm going to do is clear off this block so you can see what I'm going to do. And I'm going to, when I pull it up, I'm just going to undo these 2, right? Free up this spring, straighten out this spring. Now I have an unfair advantage. What you use, I don't know, you can find whatever, but you can get these things. This is older than I am, I'm sure, but basically you slip it on like so. Okay, you just camera down. Whoop. Yeah, like so. So it's pretty much set there. Get your trigger out of the way. Set my trigger. Oop. Well, the spring's hard enough here. And this trap's still pretty good. This. Watch it do the spring on you. There you go. Get that. Just watch nothing lets go. There we go. Hold that back spring. There we go. And that's it. Remove this. Don't mess around with it too much, because you don't want to set it off and then have to do it all over again. So you got that. Now we've bent our springs. Now what I'm debating is where I'm going to set the trap, in the sense of the distance, because I would like to have that down a little bit flatter, but if I can't, this is an older trap. There's also a stop on the bottom here that I want here, so we'll line that up fairly straight. Pull this kind of tight and taut. You have to mess around with it a bit. Again, I've seen other people do other systems a little more set up than this. Oh, yeah, no, that's kind of what I want. Get that right there. Then I'll go too tight on it. But anyway, you get the idea. Make sure that that's pulled fairly tight, so hook everything around back. So make sure that there we go, nice and tight. Get it nice and tight. That's all, nice and tight. Got that trap moving. Tighten up all the springs, the jaw. Keep your fingers away just so you're not snapping it, but basically get the jaw there, nice and tight. So the trap's not moving. Tighten down on that, just enough so it doesn't move. I won't over tighten it right now, but there we go. And the last thing I gotta do is, we might have to bring that up a bit, but anyway, you get the idea. Might have to make the groove. I might have to refine it a bit. But I want this about 3 or 4 inches above the pan, just so you can see it. I don't know if I want the jaw like that. I'd like to have it all the way open, so I'll mess around with it, see if I can come up with a more efficient system like that. If not, you can basically put a piece of wood to hold everything in place, so it's a little more solid. But play around with it, because you might get something pretty solid. But then I did the same with the beaver stick here. Just went through and just used this as the stick holder, so I can quickly change the bait out, and just give it enough so that, you know, if you want to put in 2 sticks, whatever. But I'm about 3 inches here. I know some people tried it and they had it up here and it didn't work, but about there, and then beaver's coming in. There you go, and you got him. So he's captured. Now, that said, the final part is, it's going to go all the way down here, right down the slide, the stop loss or loop, if you want to call it. Stop loss is right on the bottom. Now this is going to get shredded, and there's going to be another wire the whole way up the back going out over the top, and then I'll have a T, and that's one setup. Now how this is going to work is this whole thing is probably going to get trashed, but that's okay. If it doesn't, that's great. The idea is it's a drowning set. He'll be caught there. He's going to probably pull that apart, but the idea is that when I put it in, I'm not going to make the hole much bigger than this whole thing, so that it freezes over quickly and he doesn't come to the surface. The next thing you could do, if you wanted, you could put a weight at the end of the chain so he can't come up. I won't get that elaborate this year because I don't have the setup for it or the materials. I don't know what you could use, a brick, you could use whatever, just tie it, something that he can't come up, right? And then that's one way. And then you could set these in. How are we going to set them in? So I'm going to try it. If it works good, I'll keep using it. The reason why I'm going to use this instead of my older conibears that are worn out is that these traps still function properly. So it's just a matter of getting the back jaw where you want it. If you can get everything really flat, then you're good to go. But the idea is to get the everything tight so that it's not, the trap itself isn't moving, so it doesn't get knocked up or doesn't get knocked down. You want a good capture, so just stabilize it and then figure out how you're gonna go from there. What I might do is just put a maybe 2 nails or something. We'll see what the final variant looks like, but I want that trap pretty solid anyway, so I'd like to keep it as compact as possible so I could throw like 10 of them into my vehicle, put them out on a cold night, so that pretty much as soon as you put them out, like, the ice is starting to freeze over, and you want to be, well, you're gonna, you know, maybe that much sticking out of the ice, maybe. So he's all the way down there. He's not going to be able to, you don't want him to be able to come up. This is also going to be jammed down into the mud. You know, heck, if you can, jam it right down to the pan. You know, like just enough, maybe about 1 or 2 inches off the bottom. You're not going to be in very deep water. Maybe I should have made this pole a little bit longer. Maybe probably 6 feet. But this is just the test one, so I would probably think going a little bit longer, because again, you're going to be jamming this right down in the mud, and then again your cable's going to come up the backside and then out through the top, so you can wire it on shore or wherever. But anyway, that's the beaver massacre and monstrosity that I got there. It is legal to use in my area. Check your regulations, because it might not be legal. I'm going to try a single foothold spring setup. Maybe that might be easier, because then I only have to worry about this, and maybe I could set it a little bit more solid. I'll show you the traps that I do have. I don't have that many. Some of them are functional, some of them are not. What am I doing for time here? Okay. These ones here are not functional. This one will function. There's no doubt about that. But this one, it's a pretty big trap. I don't know if I want something that big. This one will function. Again, kind of big. So I don't know how many are going to get out there, but I got at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know I have about a total of 20 traps, but at least 7. I'd like to get at least 10 of them And then when I do my beaver blitzkriegs, you can see my, I'll show you those in another video. Those are the conibear drowning sets. I just got to fix that last conibear. Those conibears I'm not going to use because they're not functioning. If I, you know, like I know the conibears are better than the footholds, but the thing is if they're not functioning properly, I'd rather use a foothold that's functioning properly. I'd prefer a conibear each time, but you know, I'm going to go with that. Anyway, yeah, I'll show you those when I get those set up.